What is up, you guys? You know what time it is. It's 2K with the Popboy. I'm coming at you today with the smartest defensive settings. That's right, I've made it my business to test all these defensive settings in 2K18 to stop our AI teammates from making dumbass decisions on defense. Alright, so that's exactly what we're gonna do, okay? And this is episode 3. It's all about the force direction setting. So let's go. Let me show y'all what I found out. And basically this setting allows you to customize which direction your on-ball defender is going to sort of encourage the ball handler to go. Now most people, if you've ever played basketball before, you've probably been taught to not give up the middle, right? That's a common principle in defensive basketball, no middle. However, this is 2K. You just don't know if those real life principles are going to carry over to the game. But luckily I've tested this setting a lot to make sure that we have the best setting for the game. So let's take a look. I'll show y'all what I found out here. First, we're going to check out the middle setting here. So we know that the help coming from the off-ball defenders is going to be very different based on whether they're on the strong or the weak side. Middle penetration is such a problem because it kind of blurs that line between whether your defenders are on the strong or the weak side. So this is what I realized. I think this is the underlying reason why middle penetration just breaks down your defense so much in the game. It's not as clear to your off-ball AI defenders whether they are in the strong or the weak side. So that's why with middle penetration, your defenders get a lot more out of position a lot more often. It just creates so many options. Look at all these options all over the place. And look at how so many defenders are not in position to recover. And that creates a lot more scrambling from your defense. So clearly, this real life principle does transfer over to the game. As we can see, we're definitely not going to want to go with middle, and especially compared to baseline, which is the other option, the one we are going to want to go with. It's a lot easier in the game to sort of bottle up penetration in the baseline than in the middle. If you have baseline penetration, you're able to use the baseline and the sideline as a third and fourth defender. Okay, the ball handlers doesn't have as much room to operate or as many places to go as you guys are seeing here. Check it out, okay? You see the defenders on the weak side, how they're just sagging down a little bit. They're not getting totally out of position, and the defenders on the strong side are coming to help a little bit more. All right, this is huge. This is the main reason we want to force to the baseline, because it actually creates a distinct strong and weak side, okay? Unlike middle penetration, it doesn't have one big gray area where your AI off-ball defenders suddenly have no idea whether they're on the strong or the weak side, and they just get all out of position. Not so with baseline penetration, okay? So we can see the strong side defenders sort of bottling up the drive a little bit, and you just have the weak side defenders sagging just a little bit, okay? They're in position potentially to help if needed, but they haven't totally disregarded their man. Okay, if the pass is made out to their man, they'll still be able to recover in reasonable time. They won't be giving up a wide open shot. They won't be scrambling all over the place. I mean, you can see a huge difference in the clips. When the ball handler drives baseline, he's just going to have a lot fewer options in terms of dribbling, but especially in terms of passing the ball, okay? We can see this here. There's just not many easy passes for him to make when he gets himself way down in the corner like that, as opposed to the clip we saw with the middle penetration. I mean, he had easy pass options all over the place. A lot of these passes are a lot more difficult to make. It's usually going to be over multiple layers of defense, and it's going to be a farther pass. You'll have more deflections, more steals, and it'll give the defender more time to recover. So all these things you would sort of think, and they kind of make sense, and they definitely hold up in the game through all of my testing. But there are also a couple other reasons I would go with baseline. A couple of random things that I saw happen a lot that I can't really explain other than just it's the programming of the game. The ball handler is a lot more likely to lose the ball out of bounds or turn it over to get it stolen when he drives baseline rather than driving middle. I don't know. Like I said, I can't explain it, but it just happens all the time. I'm telling you, I tested it a lot. I saw it a ton. And another weird thing I noticed, a weird difference that I can't really explain, is that when you set it to middle, not all the time, but sometimes, you will see your AI on-ball defender go into this crazy, aggressive, just totally exaggerated shading like we see here for no reason. That's definitely not what we want. I mean, first of all, we don't want to just hand him the middle. I mean, it's supposed to be just some sort of light shading or just sort of encouraging him to go to the middle, if anything. Not like this. Not just handing him the middle, and we don't want to pressure up on the ball handler that much either, and make it that much easier for him to drive by. So I don't know, but when you put on baseline, you never really see this. You just get much more sensible, much more subtle shading, where you're not handing him the baseline, but it's not something crazy exaggerated like this. So you have the stuff that kind of makes sense, and then you have these two things. I don't know. I can't explain it, but I can just tell you what happens when I'm testing. All the more reason to go with baseline, okay? So that's what we're going to want to do. Alright guys, so there it is. That's everything that I found on this force direction setting. Be sure to take a sec, give me a thumbs up down below if you enjoyed the vid, if you like the settings, and make sure to catch the rest of the series, okay? Episode 4 is coming out soon. We're going to be moving on to pick and roll settings, alright? I can't wait for this. So stay tuned for that. And by the way, you can hit your notifications on if you want to get an alert so you'll know right when that episode comes out. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe down below and you'll be able to do that too. But anyway guys, either way, hope to catch y'all at the next episode. Speaking of which, I'm out. I'm gonna go get on that right now. I can't wait to get into the rest of these settings. But I'll catch y'all next time. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.